Very good morning, cadets. Last week and my previous classes, we completed how many chapters? Yeah, we completed 3 chapters. Okay. The second chapter, the federalism, is over. Power sharing is over. Now we will move to the third chapter. That is gender, caste and religion. Now what we studied in the previous chapter, that we studied that social difference. We studied social difference. There are 2 types of social difference. One is social difference by birth. Second is social difference by choice. When we studied about social difference by birth, then we definitely studied about people are differentiated on the basis of gender, that is male and female or transgender. People are differentiated on the basis of religion, and people are also differentiated on the basis of caste. So in the previous chapter we studied that we are differentiated on the basis of gender, on the basis of religion, on the basis of caste. This is purely by birth. Now in this chapter we are going to study about implication of this social difference in a democratic society. Now don't think that chapters are taught only for the purpose of examination. Imagine if you have understood the concept equality. Equality concept which you understood in your textbook will be really implemented only when you treat everyone equal. Imagine you have sister, brothers in your home. If you treat your brother or sister just like how you wish to be treated, then definitely you are not only understood the equality concept, but you implemented the concept of equality in your day-to-day life. So in this chapter we are going to study about how far the implication of gender difference, religion difference and caste difference can be found. We can see in the politics. That is what we are going to study. What we are going to study in this chapter, an overview of chapter, that is political expression of social difference is possible and sometimes quite desirable in a democratic system. Means in a democratic system of government, the social difference, which I explained you, social difference by birth, that is gender, religion and caste. Political expression of social difference is possible and sometimes quite desirable in a democratic system. In a democratic system, it is desirable to appreciate the social difference. What is the second? In this chapter, we apply these ideas to the practice of democracy in India. So we apply the idea of social differences, like men and women are equal. That is what? Equality. Now we are going to test that is it true in India? Is it 100% equality is there in India on the basis of gender? Or really in India is there is a equality on the basis of caste? That is what we are saying. We are going to see how far the ideas of gender difference, religion difference and caste difference is practiced in India. That is what we are going to study. Third, we study about social difference based on gender and religion and caste, which I explained you. In each of these, we look at the nature in this division in India and how it gets expressed. So we are going to study in this chapter how the ideas of gender difference, that is male and female and transgender, how the idea of various religion, how the ideas of various caste, how it is implemented on practical situation in a country or in a democratic country like India. Hope you are all clear till now. Okay. Now moving to the topic, gender and politics. Gender and politics and sexual division of work. It is a day-to-day concept, sexual division of work. What is called sexual division of work? In a home, if you have a sister, then if your mother is saying that you are a girl, so please start learning how to cook food. So what is done here? It is done that your mother decided that she should prepare food based on her gender. That is what we are talking about, sexual division of work. Sexual division of work means certain works are assigned to a particular gender because they belong to that gender. That is what we speak about, sexual division of work. And private and public place. There are two issues, private and public place. What is private and public place? Take for example, you may be watched in TVs and all, famous chef masters or those who cook food in 5-star hotel, most of them are male. That means the work which is done in the home by female, in public space is done by male. The work which is done by male in a public place is valued. Valued in the sense it is considered as a profession. It's a job for which he earns income. Now have you thought any time that your mother is started asking for salary for the job which she is doing in your home? Then imagine the situation. That is what I am saying. In a private space means if mother works in a home, it's a private space. If the same work is done by a male in a public place, which I explained to you, restaurants and all, that is valued. Value in the sense we are talking about economic value or earning power. Let us move to the topic. Sexual division of work means we divide the work on the basis of male and female. That is called sexual division of work. Boys and girls are brought up to believe that the main responsibility of women is housework and bringing up children. So what is the main? It is taught to the girl in the family that you are a girl, so you please take care of, you learn the household works and you should know how to love, care, and so that you can take care of, bring up children. So this is taught because she is a female, a girl. And above example is a sexual division of work. So dividing the work on the basis of male and female is nothing but a sexual division of work. For example, women do work inside the home such as cooking, cleaning, washing clothes, looking after children. Now, whenever imagine in your home or in my home, if a male is washing clothes, it is not looked in a positive manner. Why? Because our mind is prejudiced or assume that washing clothes, cooking food, washing utensils is a work of a women. So why this chapter is taught? So that at least after learning this chapter, you please come out from this concept that this work belongs to this particular personality. It's not like that. It is, we made it for societal convenience. So women do the work inside the home such as cooking, cleaning, washing clothes and looking after children. Men do all the work outside the home. So men do all the work outside the home. This is what we generally divide the work. This picture you can see here. We say many times, we speak that women empowerment, women are more powerful, women should be given importance, etc., etc. But is this the real situation in India? Definitely not. At least a good number of women in India are not allowed to speak. This picture clearly says that they are not allowed women to speak in a public space or in an open domain. I am not saying that there is nil percentage, but there is a good percentage of Indian women are exploited in their homes. That is what we speak about, domestic violence, exploited in a home. Exploitation or torture may be physical, mental, emotional or even sexual abuse. That is all women suffer in India silently. This picture beautifully explains that even though she is given a lot of freedom, but her mouth is closed so that she cannot speak. This is what we all expect our mothers to be. Super moms. Have you seen MTR advertisement? In the morning, mommy asks, "What do you want for breakfast?" One say upma, one say idli, one say dosa. Then immediately that MTR advertise comes with 6-7 hands. This is beautiful to imagine and watch and enjoy. But in real life, it is very difficult. You see, it's a picture of a super mom. She's working in a laptop, she's purchasing food, she's reading, she's washing, she's ironing the clothes, taking care of child, talking to someone. This is what the concept of supermom means. We expect that a girl or a woman should be a supermom. If somebody says, you are not good at cooking even though you are a woman, you are not good at cleaning house even though you are a woman, you don't know cooking, you don't know how to take care of the house, you are a woman. That means we all have the concept of supermoms. But please try to understand, this is very difficult to attain. That's why in India, women are given lot of responsibilities, and every one of us expect that these responsibilities should be taken care in a proper way. Now, stereotyping thoughts. What is stereotyping thoughts? Imagine you are traveling in a city. Suddenly you saw a woman riding or driving a auto, rickshaw. Suddenly we start thinking, oh, women is driving. You are into an aircraft. Now of course situation is changed, but still you are into aircraft and pilot is women. You are in a train and if the driver is women. If the driver is women, the moment we see the women driver, suddenly expression, oh. Why this? Why this oh? Because in our brain, the frame is that certain jobs are only men can do. That is what the concept. We are not speaking this today's condition completely. Imagine 40, 60 or 100 years previous. Definitely, even today, it's a surprising picture that a woman driving a train. It is not a common picture, it's a rare. Yeah, women driving auto. That is also very difficult to accept. This is what we can accept. Why? Because we say women, she can become a good tailor. We will not surprise when women is doing tailoring job. Because our brain accepted that women can do this job. Yeah, this is what I said. The supermom ad of MTR. So these are all, now try to understand why I shown all these pictures to you. We have assumed women in certain roles. When our assumption of women, when it mismatches, then the problem starts. That's why we always say that why we stand, because we assume. When we assume, if something goes against our assumption, then we start blaming. That is not correct always. Okay, this you easily accept. Why? Because we feel women belongs to the poor family or below the middle class family. They are supposed to do the household jobs. If imagine instead of a girl, if a boy is here, then you will hear, oh, this expression will come. Why? Because same, the stereotypic brain. Okay, so these are all certain pictures which I explained to you. That we continue the point from the fourth point, that in urban areas, poor women work as a domestic workers, while in the middle class women, they work in office. So you have seen in our schools also, teachers are there, lady teachers are there in our school. Like if you visit any banks and all, who are those women who works in banks and other places? They are the women from the middle class or upper middle class. What about the women belongs to the lower class or the poor section? Most of them work as a domestic workers or a maid. Women participation in politics is very minimal in most of the society. Take for example in India, how many women prime ministers were there in India? Only one, Srimati Indira Gandhi. How many women presidents were there in India? Only one, Pratibha Devi Singh Patil. So what happens here? Women participation in politics. Take for example number of MPs, MLAs, ministers of central and state government. Take the number of women. Their percentage is very less. Maybe 10 to 15%. That is very less when compared to the other part. That is for the males. Women in the different parts of the world organized and educated for the equal rights. Now what women has done? Don't think women silently accepted all these things. Women's movement started across the world. They demanded for equal rights. In the later part of this chapter, we are going to study about the equal rights, fight for equal rights, agitations and all those things. So as a result, what happened? These agitations or strikes led for the implementation of equal rights of women, at least for in certain sector. In the later part we will study. What is the sector? Let us see. In India, there is something called Minimum Wages Act. According to Equal Wages Act or Minimum Wages Act, men or women working under the government sector should be given same salary. That is definitely equality. Okay. There is also certain acts like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. This is one of the fantastic policy by the government where government is trying to literate or educate the women. So these are the 8 points. Let me continue from the previous. You see, we studied 4 here, that is boys and girls are brought up in a different way. Above is an example for sexual division of work. Women do work inside the home such as cooking, washing clothes, looking after children. Men do all work outside the home. That is the 4. These are the few pictures I showed. 5th. In urban areas, poor women work as domestic workers, while in the middle class, women work in office. Women's participation in politics is very minimal or less in most of the societies. Then we also studied women in different parts of the world organized agitations and they fought for the equal rights. As a result, these agitations led to the implementation of equal rights for women. Continuation of that. The continuation of that is nothing but we studied 8 till previous slide. These agitations demanded enhancing the political and legal status of women and improving their educational and political career opportunities. What was the major demand of women? The major demand of women was to give legal status. Now let us see legal status. What is legal status in India is given. In 2005, you studied in class 8. In 2005, the government of India passed an act called Domestic Violence Act. According to the Domestic Violence Act, now if a woman is harassed within the home by any male of that family, male may be father, maybe brother, son or husband, if any kind of harassment, emotional, verbal, economical or sexual, whatever it may be, sexual abuse, all these, if there is an abuse on a woman within a domestic or in a house, that women can file a complaint against that particular act in a police station under Domestic Violence Act. So if a case is filed under Domestic Violence Act, naturally this is considered as a non-bailable offence. So in India, government tried to give legal status to women by passing Domestic Violence Act. Equal Rights Act means now if the property is ancestral or inherited, equal share should be given to women. It's a legal status. So government of India tried to improve the legal status of women and improving their educational and political career opportunities. Now what happened? I already explained to you. The government of India is making attempt like CBSE. CBSE says that if there is one girl child in the family, the one girl child education is free. Tuition fees is not charged by the CBSE. See, there are several schemes where up to class, that is PG, post graduation, free education is given to women of single child family. It is given free education. There are enough opportunities which we studied in previous chapter that 1/3 of each seat should be reserved for women in Panchayat Raj system. So 1/3 of seat for women in Panchayat Raj system. Now the government of India is trying to introduce 33% reservation for women in parliament, political career, educational, which I told you, free education for girl children, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao Andolan, that is educational sector, status, legal status, I said, equal right in the property, passing of Domestic Violence Act. So don't think that the government is silent on this. Government tried to implement several steps to improve the condition of women in India. These movements are called as feminist movement. Why I highlighted the word feminist? What is called feminist movement means a movement which supports the empowerment of women. It is called as feminist, female. So a movement which supports empowerment of women, or if a movement which is fighting for giving justice for women, that such movements are called as feminist movement. In India, a number of examples are there for the feminist movements which are successful in India. Because of that, women attain justice in various aspects. Now because of these kind of movements, now you can see today in 21st century, we will not be so surprised to see a women scientist, a women doctor, a women engineer, a women lawyer, a women manager, and women teacher. It's not so surprising scene for us, because this less surprising scene is purely because of some of the efforts taken by the government as well as women's or the feminist movement. As a result, we can see women are slowly entering into those areas which were earlier not so easily can open for women. But don't think this is common in all the countries. The countries like Finland, Sweden, Norway, Scandinavian countries definitely have an entirely different scenario. Means the women participation in those countries are more compared to India. Okay. So till now I explained you what is the implication of gender, caste and religion in Indian democracy. We also studied what is sexual division of labor. We also studied about the general concept of private space and public space. Means if women is working, cooking in home, that is not valued. If a male is doing the same cooking job in a hotel, he is valued because he is getting salary. So try to understand all these 12 points which I explained. We will continue in the next chapter how the women's movement as well as what is the general reason for the low status of women in India. That we will study in the next chapter. Thank you.